To serve great food is to create memories for your customers.
But it takes more than luck.
It takes consistency, creativity, and the drive to see things through.
And every day, the stakes are high, which means it's time to stand up
from your computer and start getting real. To own your kitchen is to own your bottom line.
This is the real world. And now...
This is the real world. And now...
This is the real world.
And now is the time to foodify your business.
Welcome to the Foodify by the Largo Group podcast. Scott, it's going to be a big day.
Yeah, we got some great stuff cooking today. I think you're going to enjoy, our chef over here making it happen. So, Chris, what are we cooking?
Today we're going to cook. So, Scott, what I'm doing here is pork chops, when you fry them, they have a tendency to curl up. If you put a couple of 2 or 3 little swirls on the end here, just give a little swirl, it stops it. So that's what I did all for you.
Good tip right there.
It's a good tip. Because when it starts to curl up, it's hard to get, you want to seal in the flavor by browning it. It's kind of hard to do that when it's not touching the pan. So that's why we want to do it like that. So we're going to get this ready over here. A little salt and pepper. I like to try to salt and pepper things a few minutes before we actually cook them. The salt starts doing, does its work.
Yeah.
So Scott, I think I'm going to tell everybody what we're doing here this week.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So I know we jumped right into it, but this week I got a great name for this dish. This dish, my Norno really came up with it, and I kind of just, messed with it a little bit and changed it. But it's still like, family invention, my invention. It's not really out there. I think Italians probably do it. Italians cook everything on wine. We cook sausage on wine, cook everything, chicken, everything. So I just never seen it anywhere else. So I gave it a great name. Red wine pork chop.
Well, you always you have great names. You always come up with a very
I'm creative.
Selling names.
Yeah.
So red wine pork
chop. Good name, right?
It explains the dish. And now obviously we've had some great recipes from Nana, but This is Norno.
This is Norno. This is my grandfather.
Got it.
My grandfather was an outstanding cook.
Okay.
He was actually the cook in the Navy.
Really?
Yeah. So, he cooked big batches of everything. He didn't know how to cook little.
So he was ahead of the catering craze, what you're
Yes,
telling me.
he was.
He was already creating recipes and doing that many years before to-go and catering took off.
Oh, absolutely. So, going into the Navy, he learned how to cook more than just Italian. He knew how to cook Italian.
Right.
He was always a really good cook. Most of the men in my family are. My father was an outstanding cook. It's not his son. That was his father.
Okay.
But my father was outstanding cook. So was my mother. But he was a chef in the Navy. He was cooking in the Navy, and he learned a lot. And when he came home, is when the family started to eat some other foods other than Italian.
Yeah.
Because growing up, that was all you learned. You lived in that neighborhood, especially back then in South Philly. The neighborhood was Italian. Everything was Italian. All the stores were Italian. The people were Italian. The restaurants were Italian. The people driving the bus was Italian. People driving everybody, like that whole neighborhood was Italian. They didn't know anything else. So he got to see the world, and he learned. He learned a lot about other food. And it really, for me, opened my eyes because he didn't just cook Italian. We would have other foods. Right. He would cook, we called them pigs in a blanket. My mother made them too, they were delicious. So the pigs in a blanket, I don't know what the real name is.
Right, so not the hot dog.
Not the hot dog, which I like them too. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Who doesn't like them? Who doesn't like those?
I like when the guy, the waiter comes around, or a girl, right, and I'm like, listen, buddy, every time you come through that door, come right to me when you got that. And I'll take half
I
your
don't
tray.
care how classy the event is. I feel like they need to be an hors
It's
d'oeuvre.
an hors d'oeuvre.
I just feel like
For me, it's the classiest hors d'oeuvre you can have. You gotta have it. Everybody loves them.
Yep.
Right? But unfortunately, no, it's not that.
Right, okay.
It's just steamed cabbage, and then you make rice, and you saute like ground beef, and put a lot of seasonings in there and everything. Then you roll that in the cabbage, and you put it in like casserole dish with all the little rolls. And then,
Sounds delicious.
which I think was the Italian addition to it now,
Okay.
is the gravy over top.
I think we have a future podcast on it.
It
We're
could
gonna
be.
have to
I would love to make that.
Make those.
And that would go in the oven.
Okay.
And, you know, for St. Patty's Day, I always look for that.
All right.
Right? And I always make sure I get, you know, a dish of
Something,
that.
yeah.
Because it reminds me of him. And, you know, it's not Italian or anything, but it reminds me of my grandfather because he learned how to make that and he taught us.
That's awesome.
You know? So I always look for that. So here we go. We got this ready. Next thing I'm going to do, you know, I slice up the onion. I got to get the rosemary ready, half the garlic. Everything else is here. We got the red wine. We got our salt and pepper ready on the pork chops. Chicken stock's back here. Oil. Yeah, you're supposed to turn it on.
Oh, sorry.
Chicken stock's hot, ready to go. No thanks to Scott.
Perfect.
But yeah,
We were
everything's
talking about our
here.
stuff. I missed my
You missed it.
duty.
But this is it. This is your ingredients.
Yeah. So like we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
6, 7.
7.
I mean, it's easy.
It's very
easy.
limited. That's what I know. You always try to do that. Keep it simple. Get great flavors.
You wanna
and
keep
you
it
get
simple.
the
Yeah.
flavor profile you're looking for
Yeah.
because you're not trying to mix so many different items together.
And you know, I don't like to have like ingredients fighting with each other.
Right.
Simple ingredients, best way to go.
Yeah.
I always say that. Right? There's no need to have 89 ingredients in something. You're not getting the work out of the ingredients that you are using. You're overusing everything. It's just, you know, it drives me crazy when I go out to a restaurant and somebody brings out a dish, or I read a dish on the menu with 89 components on it or in it, and I'm like, I don't want that.
If you're a restaurant, you should love it. This is the recipe
Right.
going on.
Well,
Right?
listen,
It's
most
so-
restaurants I'm gonna say all restaurants that are really good and really give you a great experience and the food's amazing are the ones that are simple. They're adding that one ingredient.
It's a little bit different. Makes theirs pop.
It's love.
Special.
They're
the
doing
love.
with simple ingredients. They're just doing it right. You know, you don't need. I just got back from Italy, and there are not a lot of ingredients in their food, but their food tops everybody. So there's no place in the world that does the food the way they do it. They were just came out as Italy as the best food in the world.
Really?
Yeah, for a reason.
I'm not shocked to hear that.
No, me neither. But for a reason, they do it right. You know, I did some reels from there. I said about just how they're doing it right.
Right.
They don't believe in frozen. They believe in fresh. They don't believe in a million ingredients. They believe in simple food done right. And listen, it's the way it's supposed to be. Hey, you do that today?
What's that?
Slice an onion? How fast could you slice?
Probably not as fast.
When's the last time you sliced an onion?
Last week, probably. Making fajitas at home.
The wife let you do it?
Yeah. You can handle a knife, you know what I mean?
All right, just checking. All right, we're gonna get set up over here. We're gonna bring you around and watch the magic happen.
I like it.
All right, Scott. So we let the pan get hot here.
Right.
We're gonna add the oil.
Specific oil you like to use, just virgin olive oil.
I use extra virgin for this.
Okay.
You know, a lot of people don't. I do. A lot of people won't fry with extra virgin. I will.
All right.
Oh, it's ready to go. Right, so I got this hot. I'm gonna just turn it down a little bit so it's not splashing all over you. And I add the pork chops. Oh yeah, I
Nice
love that
sizzle.
sound.
Look at that sizzle.
Love that sound. I love that sound. So let them go for a while. About 5 minutes aside, 4 to 5 minutes aside. Really easy. Once they're probably sticking right now, like they are. Once they're not sticking, they're ready to be turned. Don't force it. So Scott, I know you can't have history on this dish. Is there a pork chop history? Is there a little something out there? I don't know.
Exactly. Like, I mean, obviously, people have been eating pork for thousands of years, right?
Yeah, no, it's popular. Yeah.
But, you know, really when we're looking into like a pork chop side, you know, it's really more of the last few hundred years, even in the United States, the last couple hundred years, as pigs weren't mass produced at some time.
Right.
So basically, as they were engineering, fattening pigs up during the summer,
Right.
and it basically became an autumn tradition. Then that was when you'd make these pork chops. Before that, it was a lot of the cured meats that they could use without refrigeration. They would season it and make it bacon and all that.
Well, a lot of people don't realize the reason for cured meat is no refrigeration.
Right.
That's why there's cured meat. A lot of people don't realize that. They think because it's good.
Yeah,
And it is good.
It is good, but
Right. But there was a purpose behind it,
yeah. So that's really
which I always try to, bring to people's attention. Definitely a purpose to why it, we have the cured meat. So this is almost ready to turn.
Yeah, they're cooking really quick.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they release real quick. So this dish, right, we're gonna braise this in the red wine. So this dish, now in the restaurant, I would get it all the way up to the point where you put it in the oven.
Okay.
You'll put it in the oven, it could go anywhere between 10 to 20 minutes.
So not a long time.
No, whatever you have time for.
Yeah.
Usually someone's getting an appetizer or everything. I would,
Right.
20 minutes in the oven, that's when it's best,
Got it.
okay? That's when it's perfect.
Okay.
10 minutes is still good, 15 is still 20. I love it the best. It really took on that red wine, the rosemary.
Okay.
Took everything on really nice. And now we're just going to flip these because we're there. They look good.
So in here, are you trying to get to a certain temperature, or are you trying to get it to
Let's get a sear on them.
Okay, so just a sear,
Yeah,
both sides, and then
Right.
oven. All right.
and then oven. So there you go. So right now, this is going to cook. I'm going to leave this on here for about 2 minutes.
Okay.
About 2 minutes on here, and then I'm going to put them aside. I have my sheet over here for it.
All ready.
I'm going to sit them on here. We're going to come back over here. We're going to do the onions, garlic, rosemary, tomato paste, red wine. That's got to cook a little. We got to cook the alcohol for a little
Got
bit.
it. Okay.
Okay. So we'll let that go a little while. Let the alcohol cook off. Then we add the pork chops back in, and we cover it with the chicken stock. And then in the oven,
All right.
up to 20 minutes.
Getting great color now. Smells delicious.
Smells great. I love the sizzle on it. Not like a good pork chop. I love the braised pork cherry. I love.
I'm excited to compare this to the pork that we had last week, without the bone. See what the difference is. Obviously, with the recipes, guys.
Well, with the bone, definitely more flavor,
Okay.
right? But a lot of people like to use the boneless because you can buy it in a big. It comes in a big loin,
Got it.
right? The bone in. Most restaurants can't. Most restaurants can't cut them there. Right. These pork loins are cut. We're gonna do the onions next. When I do the onions, I'm gonna add a little salt and pepper. I'll get back to that point, Scott.
Yeah.
I got a job to do.
Yeah, keep going.
I got a job to do. real quick.
You gotta keep the machine going.
So this is where I add salt, right? Season in layers. And pepper. We already did the pork chops, now we're doing the onions. Alright? So now this is in there. So in order to cut a pork chop with bone in, they use bandsaw. They use actual bandsaw. They're in butcher shops, and
Got it.
if you ever look in the supermarket, look in that back room, they got the bandsaw back there. One of the things they cut on. They'll do T-bones nowadays on it. Back when I was a butcher, there was no bandsaw.
How were you cutting it? How you got so strong?
That was one of the reasons. Well, we had to, again, and these you don't want to fry, you want to salt them. Okay. You don't want them to turn brown. Maybe a little bit, but not much. Okay. Well, we would cut it, and then we would use the cleaver to get through the bone.
Got it.
So one, it would take really long. Two, you couldn't get a cleanest cut as they get with that perfect 1 inch.
Yeah.
You couldn't do it because you were at the mercy of the bone.
Right.
Where was that bone running down? Because you couldn't remove that. And so wherever that bone was, sometimes you had to cut them on a slant. There was nothing you could do. Then you just, you get the cleaver and you would just chop through the bottom bone.
Okay.
So, later on as I was a butcher, they did begin with the bandsaw. That was the greatest venture ever.
You're probably like, my job just got a lot easier.
A lot easier. And, even like doing a T-bone or a porterhouse got so much easier. Just running right on that. You set the size perfect. You're running,
Sure.
But restaurants do like to go with the bones because they can buy that pork loin from their supplier It's boneless, and they cut it to what they want. There's a lot you can do with it.
Oh yeah.
You know, you could do pork roast. You could do the pork chops. You could do pork cutlets.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to do like medallions, whatever you want to do.
You remember used to pound it out.
Right,
Nice
you do a
big.
brajol with it.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot you could do. So with all that, it's important that they understand that, you know, the bone-in has more flavor.
Yeah.
And it's a little cheaper, in my opinion. You know, these restaurant companies know that people want to use that now, the loin, because it's a little easier to handle.
Yeah.
So they kind of like mark that off. They're not stupid.
Right.
You know. I'm gonna add the garlic here. I'm gonna let that get in here for a minute, and then we're going to go with the paste. I'm gonna get the rosemary in as well. Get the rosemary in here. Flavor the oil real nice.
There you go. Look at that.
So one of the changes I made, my nono did thyme.
Okay. I know you don't eat time.
I'm allergic.
All right.
I'm allergic to that. I can't remember if I like it or not.
Right.
Because I'm allergic to it now. So that rosemary and that garlic right now is really flavoring this this oil real nice. And you can see the onions, right? Not brown, they're white. That's what you want. You want sauteed. You do not want fried or caramelized.
Okay.
You want them like this. This looks great. All right, so I'm going to get the tomato paste in now. Look at that. Beautiful. Get that all mixed around and incorporated. So whenever you put tomato paste in anything, you want to fry it off a little bit because it could have like a raw taste. But if you fry it like this, same thing with when we made the Norris pork gravy.
Yeah.
We fried it off first, right, with the diced onions and garlic. It takes that away. I love tomato paste. I can put that on everything.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is cooking up nice. Give us another 30 seconds. Let it cook off a little bit. Then we're gonna add the wine. Now once we add the wine, we want to let the alcohol cook off. Okay, so we want to simmer it down a little bit. It's going to you're not going to see much wine left. It's going to be in the onion,
Okay.
really. And that's where a lot of flavor is going to be, is in that
You have a
onion.
preference on the wine that you're using?
I cook with Chianti a lot.
Okay.
I like to cook with Chianti. I'll go with Cabernet or Merlot. I like a dry wine to cook with.
Right.
I don't like to drink it, fruity wine.
Right.
Or, you know,
It's good
yeah.
for cooking.
Yeah, but for cooking, same thing I drink. I drink dry, I cook with dry. All right, so now I'm gonna add the wine. This is a Chianti. There's somewhere left in a bottle for you too, Scott.
Perfect.
I saw you hitting it earlier.
I like to have with my lunch later. We'll last in the line.
I saw you hitting it earlier.
It's
I
a
figured,
full extent.
I was hoping I had enough to cook with.
I may try left you a little bit.
We're gonna bring this up to a simmer. We're gonna let it simmer for a few minutes. I mean, if you look at this sauce already, you look at it.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
You just pour it in. It already. Yeah.
Yeah, see, we're starting to get a bubble. So I don't want to burn anything. You turn it down. I'm gonna let this simmer a little bit.
Yeah, that'd be the tricky part. Making sure that you get that heat down right at the beginning of the wine.
Yeah. Just let it get to that bubble to get it down. Right? You don't want to burn the onion. You don't want to burn the wine.
No.
It's made. You don't want to burn anything. You know, a nice little simmer. It's going to cook the alcohol out. Right? You're not going to have that raw taste of alcohol.
Right.
And then we're going to get the pork chops back in there. We're going to cover it with the chicken stock.
All right.
You're going to be amazed.
It looks delicious already.
Now, just like we were talking about cooking with wine, I will just take a bottle of Chianti. I'll get a frying pan.
Okay.
I'll pour the wine in there. I'll get raw sausage
All right.
right in there,
Okay.
and I just cook it down.
That's it.
I let it cook until the wine is gone.
How long does it take about?
Well, it depends how much I'm doing,
Yeah.
and how much wine I put in, and how much I drank before that. Because when I drink before, I tend to put more than I need.
I thought you were
I
going to say
gotta
less.
wait.
I thought you were going to say less because less in the bottle.
No, I got plenty. I got plenty. That's not a problem. But yeah, I put more because I don't know. I just keep putting it in. But then I gotta wait for it to evaporate. I start getting a little antsy.
Yeah, I can imagine you're getting a little hungry.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean I would do like a cup and a half of wine with a pound of sausage.
Okay.
And I do sweet. I don't like it with the hot. There's too many combinations.
Yeah.
You know, I like to go with the sweet. Do nice sweet sausage. Do a broccoli olive sausage in there. One of my favorite sausages is just with the, you do the provolone cheese and the parsley in the sausage.
Okay.
Do that in there. It's delicious.
Yeah, I'm taking notes. We got some future podcasts that we're gonna have.
Oh, we can do them all, man. Listen, I do an Italian dirty rice that I invented. I want to do that here once.
Okay.
Okay. I did this years ago.
Right.
I was home. I was starving. You know, I didn't have a lot in my apartment. I lived by myself. I didn't have money either. But I was a butcher, so I always had like sausage or something in the fridge.
Right.
You know. And I had minute rice. And I had some gravy my mother gave me.
Okay.
So I'm gonna make something out of this. And I boiled the rice in the gravy.
Okay.
And I browned the sausage and I threw it in there. And now over the years, I've really made it good.
Yeah.
But that was
The
great
first
then.
stage of it. That was
Hey,
a rough
listen, that
copy.
was the beginning. That's what I had around. I call it Italian dirty rice.
Yeah, see, I mean, you throw things together like that. I mean, I think back in the day when, you know, I'm throwing together like a can of tuna and like easy mac and cheese. Put it together and be like, all right, that's actually better than you think. All right.
Oh.
But, you know, yours seems a little more advanced than that.
Growing up Italian when it comes to food is different.
Right.
You know, it's part of everything. So you just, and I think just the you know, ambition I had to cook.
Yeah.
I enjoyed cooking. It was part of it. So I thought that was part of it. But for Italians, you know, like your mother's not leaving you in that apartment which there's nothing to eat. You're going to have gravy there.
Right.
So you could boil macaroni, and, which I didn't want macaroni. Like, how much, you know, eat enough of it. So we're almost there with this.
Okay. That wasn't long.
It's still a little too thin, so we're going to give it another minute.
Yeah.
I want it to thicken up a little bit more. I'm going to make sure that, you know, that wine's cooked out real nice. But it's getting there. Looks great. So while we're doing that, I know you boiled this already. I just want to make sure it's,
All right.
it's
Get
hot.
back to hot, yeah.
I don't want to have to wait too long to get this in the oven. Right? So we're going to take these. Doesn't matter how you get them in there. I like to get them right on top of all this.
Okay.
You know, move it around a little bit. I'm going to let them cook in here before I put the stock for a couple minutes. And then I'm going to flip them and then put the chicken stock over them. That's that little extra bit of love.
Right. You have a little bit of a, you know,
Right.
team. You got the quality control steps that make
Right.
it
So,
yours.
so now I got this here, right? So I want this side to, you know, get the flavor too.
Right.
You know, the side that's down right now. I want to make sure it's getting in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now let this go for like a minute or two. Over a little boil, and then we're going to add the stock. All right. So yes. So this is looking good. So I'm going to give these a flip now. You know, see,
Right.
they got the flavor too. They got to get the flavor too. Everybody's got to get a little bit of the flavor.
Every bite.
That's it. You know, we want it all to be delicious. Look at that. Look at that. And I used to do these. I mean, I would use all three burners with one big pan. I would have a bunch of pork chops going. Yeah. And we would sell, when we ran this, before it got on the menu, it'd be nothing to sell 40 orders in a night. We just want to cover it. And I think we're there. We're good. It's covered. Give everything a little shake. Okay. Well, here we go, right? Look at that.
All right.
That looks good enough to eat right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, we gotta wait 20 minutes, so it's perfect.
We'll give it the 20, the full 20 because
Yeah.
we can. All right, get this up to a boil. We're there. It's going to go in. No, you don't cover.
20 minutes uncovered.
We got a timer here. Just on 20 minutes. We're good to go. All right, while that cooks, we're going to clean up, get everything ready for our little tasting.
Can't wait.
We'll see you in a few. All right, Scott. Pork chops are ready.
All right. I heard the buzzer go off.
I'm going to pull them out. We're going to see what we got. Turn this off. I smell the rosemary.
Oh, it smells delicious.
This is what it looks like when it's done. There's all that beautiful juice in there. That's why it goes great, because that juice goes over polenta or mashed potatoes. Even a rice. Even a rice. Be great over a rice.
Right.
All right. So I would plate it with the polenta and mashed potatoes mounded.
Yeah, get a nice height for the dish.
Right, this
Yeah.
off like a ramp with the juice coming down the side. But you know, we didn't have time to do polenta or mashed potatoes.
Today's not no sides today.
No sides,
Yes.
you know. But I go like this. Right in the middle. Again, mound it with something and look awesome. Right? Take this. You want to make sure you get some onions up here.
All right, so a little bit.
You want to get that juice. You get the rosemary. Look at that.
Wow.
You want juice on the plate. You gotta have juice on the plate. Right? The juice on the plate is what you want.
Yeah, well,
Because you're gonna eat
great
some bread
plate
with it.
coverage. You're right. You want some great plate coverage on that.
You see, I got my long hop there. I got my rosemary. I love to put in it. And there you go.
Beautiful.
That's it. Red wine pork chop. Now for the big question. I know it's good. I love it. I'm gonna give you both a little bit of juice
right.
for the bread. Here you go. I'm doing bread for you.
Look at that.
All right, that's how you do it. Pour on some of your plate. Pork right on that for you. Right? I want you guys to experience what I experienced. One piece. Two. All right, Catherine.
All right.
I'll just stick with this.
You get a nice big plate. You did the heavy lifting. I think that.
Oh, I won't eat it all. I'll give you a little long hot. I want a little long hot with it. Let's see what we got.
That's really good. Yeah, I like that. We knew it was coming. The bone in is definitely a little more flavorful than the loin. Let's try with a piece of long hot now. And I know you like the spicy.
Yeah, long hot's not bad. It's got a little kick. But I love bread with this because you got this great broth that you made.
Perfect. Yeah.
The rosemary comes through nicely.
Get all the flavors really nice.
All right. So, doesn't get simpler than this.
No, you made it look easy.
Really don't. I mean, you know, how you do in a restaurant, just a saute pan, we're going on.
Right.
You know?
Right.
That's it. One saute pan I start with, up, in the oven, comes out, that's what you got. Again, this went for the full 20.
Right.
It works at 10, it works at 15.
Right.
If it's gotta be 8 minutes, it works, but it shouldn't. If you do everything ahead like we did, only the braising part, when that ticket comes across and they order that, you know to get an oven.
Right.
You're gonna get their appetizer and get whatever, but that gets in the oven, and my team knew that. You know,
Right.
it was known. My expediter knew to yell that out, like, "Hey, get an oven."
Yeah.
All right, because we knew it took 20 minutes. I wanted it to be the 20 minutes.
Right. That makes sense. No, it was great.
All right. Well, for this week, it's another pork chop week, so we gave you 3 weeks in a row of pork chop.
Right. Well, then the third one will be next week.
Oh, we're in week 2.
We're in week 2. Well, remember, because last week we did 2 different kinds in 1 week.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it is our third pork chop.
Okay.
You're right.
All right.
But you know, we're in the middle of our pork chop series.
Sometimes I show my age, where the brain
Well, we
don't work
did
that
too.
well.
Because remember, we made 2 different sauces last week.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
we made
yeah.
2 different.
We did the
pork
mustard
chops.
sauce, the mascarpone mustard.
Yes, but we
Right.
made it with the peppers and.
And then we
hot
made
sauce.
this. Next week we're going to just drop it now.
Yeah.
Tell them my famous names. You can tell them my famous names.
I don't want to take this away from you. You're
It's a cherry pepper pork chop. Guess what the key ingredient is?
You have 2, right? Pork chop and cherry
And
peppers.
cherry pepper. You know, again, I'm not as creative on that end, but these dishes are outstanding.
Yeah. Not a lot of ingredients in that one
No,
either.
no.
It's,
You bring these pork chops in. You make them 3 ways, like we did. Really 4 ways, right?
yeah.
Well, you know, like we're doing, and it's going to be profitable. It's going to really excite your guests, and you know, most importantly, it's going to add top line sales and bottom line dollars. That's what we're all about. Check out our website, fyourbusinessmovement.com. The recipe will be up. Plenty of other recipes too. There'll be a spot on there. I'd like you to get to our other landing page where you can book a call with us. You book a call with us for anything that you need. From, we do everything front of house, back of house, set all the way up to the CEO. We cover every angle. We do on-site visits.
Yeah.
We love doing them. We love coming out. We love being part of a team because that's what we are. When we work with you, we're a team, and we're going to make sure you hit that goal that you're looking for because that's our job. So until next time, remember one thing. Foodify Your Business by the Largo Group is your go-to group for all restaurant operations. Scott, until next week.
Next week, see you then.